Good morning. It's good to be with you all in person and online. I'm the Reverend David Schwartz, lead minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Boulder. Last weekend, I had the great good fortune and luck to go back home to where I grew up in Boston for my dad's 80th birthday, this wonderful celebration. And so many folks there said, how is the church? How do you feel? And what I told them again and again, and what I'll tell you now, is one of the things I love about this congregation is that we do serious things seriously. The work we do, the justice work we do, the way that we manage our affairs and figure out where we're going as a community, and we also play together and laugh together and actually enjoy being together, many of us for the most part. And that's a beautiful thing that I don't just take for granted. It's good to be back again. If you're joining us online, fill out a visitor's form. It's the link in the description. We'd love to be in touch with you. And part of our mission is to connect bravely. We're glad that you're sharing part of your Sunday here all together. Many of all the rest of us in this room were also seeking for something larger than ourselves, something we could belong to, a sense of rootedness, a community where we know each other and are known by each other. We do that pretty well here, not perfectly, but perfection is not the goal of this community. The goal instead is authenticity and connection. So whether it's your first time in worship, in person or online, or your 100th, we hope that you'll find questions that stretch you and people to befriend you and liberal religious values that challenge you in your living. I have 3 invitations this morning. Today is Reverend Dana's last Sunday with us. I agree. I mean, hooray for her, but before she moves on to serve the congregation in Loveland, the Namakwa congregation just up the road from us, we're really happy for you. We are kind of sad for us. A little later in the service, we'll exchange gifts to say thanks, but one of them I need your help with. You know that Dana is a musician and singer and instrumentalist and music maker and music writer. We're going to get to hear and sing some of her music. So later, this is a surprise, Dana. We are gifting her, among other things, one of our UUCB hymnals, fresh off the shelf. This is number 110. Still with the UU Church of Boulder's imprint on it. The 9 o'clock service joined me in writing an inscription or signing your name or writing a note. Add it on your favorite hymn or wherever you can find space in here. So all through the service, I'm going to pass this around, just circulate it around with a pen, and sign your name, say a thanks to Dana. And if you don't get to it during the service, it'll also be out in coffee hour afterwards. Okay, 2 announcements. Our very first post-pandemic, all-ages community night is going to be Friday evening, November 4th, from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. It's for young and old. Bring a potluck dish. This is not a highly organized potluck, so just bring something you think would be good and enjoyed by others. Bring a potluck. We'll have dinner together, followed by games and a sing-along led by the Chancel Cats. The other invitation for you this year, we're exploring the future of our building. 2 things are going on. The Strategic Initiatives Committee is looking at what's possible. What's the state of the building? What repairs are needed? What's the value of the property? Could we purchase elsewhere? What would it take to renovate or rebuild or add on to the site? What's even possible? But at the same time, the board is leading conversations among the whole congregation about our hopes for the future. What do we want? What do we need in a church building that lets us live out our mission and makes a home for our community? In other words, what's possible for the building? That's the Strategic Initiatives Committee. And what do we all hope for? By next spring, the goal is to gather enough information that we can start a church-wide conversation on what comes next for our buildings and our future generations who are going to live here. This coming Sunday after church, next Sunday, you'll hear updates from the Strategic Initiatives Committee and the board about what the process is, the questions they're asking, what that looks like. But then after that, on Sunday, October 30th, it's the very first board-led visioning session where we'll get to ask together, what do you want out of a church building? All of this is groundwork. This is not a definitive step on a particular path, but it's a time for exploration, and I think the right time, coming out of pandemic, regathering as a community and asking what's next for us. I hope you'll be there on the 30th.
Well, that sounds like so much fun. I'm glad you guys are back to doing community nights. That's beautiful. So, my friends, this is it. Our companions on this life's journey are always changing, coming and going, and nothing ever stays the same on this road that we are on together. So as I leave the great caravan of UUCB, I am shifting and moving through a mixture of emotions myself. Sadness for the loss of being together, gratitude for the time that we have shared, and hope and anticipation for whatever is next, both for you and for myself. We have reached a crossroads where we bid each other farewell. So please join me in celebrating our time together with these opening words by Tess Baumgardner called "We Travel This Road Together." And you have a response to each phrase that I read. We have traveled, past tense, this road together. From the busyness of every day, we gather once a week to remember who we are and to dream of what we might become. We travel this road together. As companions on this journey, we share the milestones we meet along the way. Individual moments of joy and sorrow become our shared moments of comfort and celebration. We have traveled this road together. We share this journey across differences of beliefs and opinions because we value diversity and because we care for one another. We have traveled this road together. Today, as we take the next steps, let us notice our fellow travelers, the ones that are coming and going, the burdens that they carry, the songs that inspire their hearts. We have traveled this road together. As we gather in beloved community, let us open the holy havens of our hearts and let us share the sacred places in our souls, for we are pilgrims who share a common path. We have traveled this road together. Thank you. May it be.
One, two, three, Life is full
power in the rays of the sun. Give thanks to life when the day is done. Choose to love your life. Choose to love your life. Choose to love your life. Even when it's difficult. Change, baby, change. Life is full of change. 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 Well, the blessings of life are deep inside of you. So open your heart and let your gift shine through. Share the joy and have some fun. Remember your life has just begun. Let your light shine through. Let your light shine through. Let your light shine through. Even when it's difficult. Change, baby, change. Life is full of change. 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 Change, baby, change.
Oh my goodness. That was amazing. That was just amazing. I've never heard other people perform my songs and I'm not a part of it. That's pretty that's pretty amazing. So I have a story to share with you today from the Hindu tradition. So when humans began to thrive in the world, the gods became concerned that they had perhaps made these creatures a little too resilient. The humans were creating language and building villages and hunting and gathering for their food. They were not needing the gods as much as they once had. So the gods they gathered together and they contemplated this problem and debated where to hide the secret of life. Now, one minor god argued for the deepest abyss in the ocean. Another, the highest peak, snow-covered mountain. They'll never get there, right? A more experienced god said, no, they will find that. Hide it on the far side of the moon, like they're never going to go there. The supreme god listened to all of this advice, recognizing that the gods were becoming afraid of human intelligence and drive. No, he said, I will hide it where these resourceful creatures will never look. Where? Asked all the other gods. I will hide the secret to human happiness inside the human heart. That's the last place they will ever think to look. And all the gods nodded, and it was so, and it is so.
The chalice is a symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition. It's a cup of life. It's a cup of sustenance to quench our spirit's thirst. It's a cup of celebration and resolve, a flame of hope, a light to warm our souls and guide us home. And I'd like to invite Carrie Wingert to light this morning's chalice.
Good morning. I'm Carrie Wingert. Say your name. And this is my daughter, Marie. How old are you? She says she's 4.5. We're lighting the chalice today as part of the family ministry team, and I'd like to thank Cindy Schlosser and Josie and Janelle Freeston River and Talon for their contributions as well. This first contribution is from the Schlossers. Teacher Dana. That's what Josie, my 6-year-old daughter, not mine, Cindy Schlosser's, and I call her. We call her teacher, but we know she is more than that. To us, she's a spiritual teacher, a fairy godmother, a wise elder, and a forever kid. With a playful heart and joyful, radiant smile that we cannot help but return. Josie and I came to UUCB after moving from Tucson in 2018. I ventured in looking for a community that shared my husband's and my spiritual and social values that would help us guide her, Josie, in what sometimes feels like a spiritless, lonely, and harsh world. Dana was one of the first people I met at each coffee hour after the service. I stood awkwardly wondering how in the heck one creates community from scratch in middle age. Wise elder Dana knew what we needed and gently, consistently welcomed us. She affirmed that we were right where we needed to be without pushing. She accepted us just as we were and extended her spacious heart to embrace both of us. Wise elder Dana, thank you for loving us tal y como somos, just as we are. Eventually, teacher Dana challenged me to stretch my comfort zone and join the family ministry team and to facilitate an anti-racism group. Teacher Dana knows that growth only occurs when we're uncomfortable. And good growth only occurs when we enter that discomfort with compassion for ourselves and others. She welcomed all of us to join her in that space of discomfort and compassion by forging equitable and compassionate relationships with people of the Oglala Lakota Nation, or Pine Ridge, our fellow Boulderites without housing, and a nearby church community that's predominantly African American. Teacher Dana, thank you for challenging us to be more courageous and compassionate as we work together toward a more equitable and connected world. Now, hold on to your seats. Playful fairy godmother Dana was able to work magic and somehow joyfully teach our children these same challenging lessons about unconditional love and acceptance, tal y como somos, equity, and interdependence. During the COVID lockdown, she delivered to every kid who wanted one surprise goodie bags that contained everything the kids needed to make and send snowflakes to each other to maintain some community. We created videos with Dana to welcome strangers through Las Posadas, and in springtime, she invited them to act out parts of Mother Earth, teaching them to connect with, respect, and care for our mother and all living things. Thank you, playful fairy godmother Dana, for enjoying our children and for guiding them to be little wise and loving beings. From Janelle Freeston and Reverend Talon, we're going to miss you. The boys have said how much they will miss how kind and thoughtful you are and how you go above and beyond to get to know them, consider allergies, and keep us safe and connected via online classes during the pandemic. We're grateful for every minute and we'll be sending our love. Marie has written a bit. She says, Reverend Dana makes me feel happy, and I love going to kid class with her. She teaches me about God and songs and dances. I love doing crafts with her and making new friends. And for me, do you know how complicated it is to get 30 people, most of them under age 12, to dance a maypole? Do you know how many things can go wrong? Everyone running this way and that, tying knots in and out, running into each other, and around again. And yet Reverend Dana taught us how. I want to say, may Mother Earth continue to nourish you. May the sun warm your radiant smile, but not too much. May the waters be plentiful and cleansing. May Sister Moon continue to guide your natural ebbing and flowing. May you feel the presence of love around you, knowing that everything you need is within your stardust self and in the human and other beings who surround you wherever you go. We love you. The family ministry team lights this chalice in gratitude to the wise, playful fairy godmother, Dana, and all she has given our community.
We are a promise-making and a promise-breaking and a promise-remaking people. We're not called to be perfect, but to be faithful to each other. In that spirit, each week we speak our covenant aloud, all together, a reminder of the promises we make to each other in this gathered community. In person and online, will you join as one? Will you rise in body or spirit and say our covenant? We gather in fellowship to speak truth to each other, to reach out and touch one another, to carry for each other, and to seek the truth divine. So be it.
So, my friends, I invite us now into a spirit of prayer and meditation. As we settle into our awareness of our breath, breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. And breathing out, I know that I am breathing out. Resting in the quiet center of our being. Turning inward with all that is on our hearts and our minds. Let us remember to hold ourselves with love. Now really do this. I'm not just saying it. Feel that liquid of love that's in a pool. It's a soothing kindness that flows through you, giving thanks for your life, giving thanks for your brilliance, your big heart. Feel that healing water flowing all the way through you, that is your very essence. Circulating and cleansing from within. And send that healing water of your essence to the people that you love the most, bathing them in your gratitude, in your waves and sparkles and splashes of gratitude. And continue by sending this elixir of love out to people you have loved and cared about throughout your life that you no longer see or know. Sending your gratitude for all of the ways that they touched your being. And consider all the people on this planet and all of the hopes and dreams that you have for this planet and for all beings. Send this essence of this love of yourself, this pool of liquid love. Send your love and compassion to all beings. Maybe it's like a fine mist encircling the globe with all of your wishes and dreams for people and for all beings and for the earth herself. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings return to this love. Amen.
We are none of us alone, though it may not always feel that way. There is a thread which weaves this gathered community together. It's a fiber of compassion which comes from knowing and holding and transforming the suffering which is part of our lives. It ties us together as one, an unseen filament that connects every heart, breaking with joy and breaking with sorrow. Each week in the service, we set aside time in ritual to make visible the unseen interconnections of our hopes and our concerns. And so in a moment, as the music begins, I'll invite you to come forward as you feel moved, to take a stone from one of the bowls and place it into this good earth. And as you wait in this line, as you listen, let your thinking quiet and your breath steady. Call to mind the sorrows and the joys, the things that weigh you down and lift you up. Take a stone in token of everything on your heart and place it into the earth, resting in something larger than any of us, a community connected by the concern and the hopes we carry. In particular, this week, we lift up in love Barb and Fred, who write, "My 75-year-old cousin Myra lives in Houma, Louisiana, and was diagnosed with ALS." We lift up Jenny Wright, who's recovering after a fall and now in rehab in Longmont. And we celebrate those of us who are fans simply with "Go See You." Please come forward as you feel moved.
The principle of compassion lies at the heart of all religious, ethical, and spiritual traditions, calling us always to treat all others as we wish to be treated ourselves. Compassion impels us to work tirelessly to alleviate the suffering of our fellow creatures and to honor the inviolable sanctity of every human being, treating everybody without exception with absolute justice, equity, and respect. We acknowledge that we have failed to live compassionately and that some have even increased the sum of human misery in the name of religion. We therefore call upon all people to restore compassion to the center of morality and religion, to return to the ancient principle that any interpretation of Scripture that breeds violence, hatred, or disdain is illegitimate. We urgently need to make compassion a clear, luminous, and dynamic force in our polarized world. Compassion can break down political, dogmatic, and religious boundaries. Born of our deep interdependence, compassion is essential to human relationships and to a fulfilled humanity. Compassion is the path to enlightenment and indispensable to the creation of a just economy and a global community.
So light the candle of light, the candle of faith, and light the love in our heart. May we change, may we be the change forever. May we be
Thank you. Thank you. That was beautiful. That's the most beautiful that song has ever sounded. That's really beautiful. I just want to mention that the spoken parts of that song are from the Charter of Compassion, written by leaders from all over the world about 10 years ago, because we used that at my ordination 12 years ago. And you can still find the Charter of Compassion online. Karen Armstrong, if you're familiar with her work, she started the Charter of Compassion. And speaking of which, that was during my incarnation at Jefferson Unitarian Church, just down the road that way. That way? Right. Yeah. And life is a long and winding road, isn't it? And we have so many companions, some we want, some maybe we don't want, along the way. And rarely, if ever, do we have one companion for our entire life. All the people that we love and maybe don't love come and go, keeping us company on the path for a time. However, in our world, the companions around us are not always the kind and caring humans that we would like and hope that they would be, because they have lost that secret of life that they don't know resides in their heart. Remember the story? In 2004, I left teaching to go to seminary. And in many ways, the most meaningful, important conversations with the youth I taught and their parents usually turned toward spirituality. And at some point, it was beyond what is appropriate for a music teacher to discuss spirituality in depth with my students. I just wanted to bring a bit of the secret of life to them and find it for myself too. I also went to seminary with the hope of working with people committed to living the values of justice, mercy, compassion, healing, and understanding into the world. I was looking for courageous partners to help me love the world back into being, bit by bit, over and over again. It reminds me of the words by Adrienne Rich. My heart is moved by all I cannot save. So much has been destroyed. I have to cast my lot with those who, age after age, perversely, with no extraordinary power, reconstitute the world. To some degree, I have found this in each congregation I have served, but I have most profoundly found this with you, my friends. I see in so many of you how your hearts are moved and even broken by all that cannot be saved. I see it in our children who have big, open, loving hearts and wise minds, and who care deeply about each other, the big questions of life, and those who are suffering on this planet. In fact, Owen earlier was telling me how he's going to solve climate change. So, look forward to hearing more about that, Owen. He'll do it. Our kids are like you. You are both determined to at least do something. I know how capable you are to affect meaningful change when you decide to do it. My time here has focused on empowering our kids to follow in your footsteps because you model it well. The greatest testimony to this spirit of this church is all that you have done for Ingrid, her family, and the work on immigration. You also demonstrate your caring through the ways that so many of you took on the very difficult work of anti-racism, which was the work of self-reflection and growing self-awareness, exploring those dark corners of your unconscious and finding that old programming that you no longer agree with and maybe never did, and challenging it to come into the light of change. You did that. You're still doing it. It's a lifelong practice. And it's hard. And you do it. One of the most profound experiences I had with you at UUCB was our first trip to Pine Ridge Indian Reservation with 8 families and 27 people. Facing the shocking truth of life on the reservation was intensely eye-opening. I watched our group as our hearts moved and were broken by all that we could not save. Seeing the deep impact of damage caused by 150 years of persecution and neglect from our government and our culture. How can you be human and not have a broken heart? And yet, bit by bit, we followed the lead of the Lakota, building friendships, and we made a difference and continued to make a difference. That was just the beginning. And I can't tell you how much it warms my broken heart to know that you are continuing this work. So I thank you, and you might just have a partner in your conspiracy up here, in your work together, up in Loveland. We'll see. So maybe we'll see you. So the theme this month is courage. And I have to ask, why did this congregation have the courage to become a sanctuary congregation with the tenacity to house Ingrid and her family for 4 years? Why were 65 of you ready and willing to engage in hard conversations of anti-racism during the pandemic on Zoom? Why did I have a wait list of people wanting to go on the trip to Pine Ridge? And why were these experiences so transformational for us, me included? Well, I go back to the story of the secret of life hiding in the human heart. It occurs to me that the human heart is actually like a seed. It cannot grow and flourish and come alive and bloom without first breaking open and even disintegrating. It cannot, the secret of life that the Hindus hid in our hearts, the secret of life is found in the broken heart. I think these endeavors mean so much to us because they invoke the compassion, the caring, and justice seeking. All these things are the effect of our heart breaking, waking, and growing. And that is truly sacred and holy. We hold this work with reverence because we feel the meaning of life. We don't think the meaning of life. That's why the Hindus hid it well in the story, the gods. Because we feel the meaning of life and the secret of life. And why am I telling you this? You already know this. But these experiences and countless others open our eyes to the truth that isn't found on a TV screen or a news report or a video game. Maybe in Minecraft. No, sorry. It is in this heartbreak when we become more human, more loving, more understanding, and more suited to reconstitute the world together in whatever imperfect ways that we can. So I thank you, my friends, for being great partners in this sacred, shared ministry that we have had. It has truly been an honor to serve this congregation. You have been the courageous, compassionate lovers of life, willing to take on whatever next challenge came our way, even when it was a pandemic. This is all I have ever wanted, to be with a group of people whose hearts grow big enough and courageous enough and beautiful enough to reconstitute the world together, in laughter, in play, with tears, with hard work, with wise actions and love, for being on the journey together, even behind masks and on Zoom. And now, my dear friends, we are parting at a crossroads. What can we do but bless each other with our gratitude? Forgive each other for any failings and cherish the memories and move on down that long and winding road of our lives, filled with the joyful reassurance that our time together has helped us be more fully alive and contribute to the rebirthing of the world, bit by bit, over and over again. I care about you, and I always will. So it is comforting to know that whoever is in your beloved community of UUCB, you will share the secret of life residing in your hearts with them all over again. Well, as usual, the Beatles said it the best. And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. Keep loving, my friends. You're beautiful, and I love you. Thank you. So I would like to invite Reverend David up and Will Kropp, our board president. I have a few gifts to give you. Okay. I'm just going to go through all mine. Okay. I know. You might recognize this chalice. First time you saw this chalice was as a gift from Kelly Dignan to you on her last Sunday. This chalice was made by my mother. Yeah. And when the pandemic hit, I was worried what might happen to it, and I was setting up my own Zoom background, and I thought this would be good to have in there. So it's been at my house. So many of you have seen it online when you have been in meetings or gatherings with me. It's been the chalice in the background. So I'm giving it back with my blessing on it. Well, I wasn't going to keep it. And this one is its little sibling. This was also made by my mother. It's got much the same glaze, and So this is my gift to you. So, and may it, oh wait, I wrote something cool for this. The smaller chalice was also made by my mom, and I may it bless and light the way in all of your meetings and gatherings. And as some of you know, I'm a bit of a techie and I like gadgets. Maybe you know this about me. I give you the power of spark to illuminate your fires. Now, the cool thing about this lighter is that you charge it with a USB cable. So it does not use any fuel other than the batteries inside. And so when you turn it on, you probably can't see this, but it's just a spark that's going back and forth. I got you 3 of them, so. May you never be short of, may their spark ignite the spirit of this community over and over again. And lastly, I pass on to you a beautiful painting given to you, UCB, as a gift of gratitude from the teepee raisers during the pandemic. It has also been a part of my background. The artist lives on the reservation, and they send this painting with great appreciation for all that we have done and for building that relationship of reciprocity, of giving and receiving. So you'll be, I don't know where you're going to put it. Hopefully you can find a little corner somewhere, but this is what it looks like, and hopefully you can look at it more closely later. Okay, I said it. I think that's it. Oh, one last thing. I give to Reverend David my keys. These keys have opened the doors to our bonding and to our work together. They have allowed me to travel in your spaces, finding ways to serve this congregation. And now, my friends, I am no longer your minister. And these places are no longer spaces that we share. Thank you for the honor of using these keys to unlock our time together.
Well, Reverend Dana, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, as well as this faith community, we would like to shower upon you much gratitude, laughter, and love. This is for you. You can never have enough chalices. You've heard me say these next words before. They are by the great Sufi poet Rumi, and they're about goodbyes. Goodbyes are only for those who love with their eyes, because for those who love with heart and soul, like you, there is no such thing as separation. Thank you. Can we give him a big hand? Come on, stand up. What's up, man?
Reverend Dana, we receive these gifts from you in gratitude. The tools of the trade, chalices and lighters, beautiful things, and things that make community around them. And that's what you've been doing all this time. Early on, someone mentioned to me that Dana is like a Swiss Army knife of a minister. There are few things that she can't do. And so I have a gift for you in token of that. The reality is that when there's a difficult problem, she can cut right through it. When it seems like things are coming apart, she can tighten them back up again. When it seems as if we're screwed, she's got a screwdriver handy. And when there's something particularly difficult to pull out and surface up, she can pull it out. So there's no better token of all of that than one of these. Dana, here's the Leatherman on behalf of UUCB. Use it in good health and good times and bad health and bad times. And here's this. To that and to our Swiss Army knife of a minister, we can't send you on without a good bag of UUCB swag. There is a mug in here and so many good things. I can't even go through them all. But I want to give this to you to carry the good news of UUCB way up north in Loveland. And then finally, I think that our hymnal has only made it just about through the front section of the church. So there are so many more names to add to that and messages to add. We'll have that in coffee hour afterwards, and I'll make sure that you get it on your way out the door. Reverend Dana, there is so much love in this community for you. As your colleague, I am so grateful that you're not going that far. Over and over during this last year, as I've met with colleagues and other churches up and down the Front Range, the things that we say to each other are the more good Unitarian Universalism there is up and down the Front Range, the better it is for all of us. And so I'm grateful that you're not going far. I'm grateful to have one more good church served by one more good colleague just up the road. Thank you for everything that you've done for this community. You've left a mark and won't be forgotten. And we'll see you around the corner. Thank you.
Slow down to the speed of love. Slow down to the speed of love. Slow down to the speed of love. Slow down. Slow down. When was the last time I looked into your face and saw your spirit shining in your eyes? When was the last time I shined the light from my soul and shared my gifts with the world? Slow down to the speed of love. Slow down to the speed of love. Slow down to the speed of love. Slow down. Slow down. We are better together when we care for each other. We are better together when we connect from the heart. We are better together when we care for each other. We are better together when we connect from the heart. We are better together. better together when we care for each other. We are better together when we connect from the heart.
When is the next time I show up for other people as a companion and not a hero? When is the next time love moves me to work for justice in this world?
We are better together when we care for each other. We are better together when we connect from the heart. We are better together when we care for each other. We are better together when we connect from the heart. We are better together when we care for each other. We are better together when we connect from the heart. We are better together when we care for each other. We are better together when we connect from the heart. Slow down to the speed of love. Slow down to the speed of love. Slow down to the speed of love. Slow down. Slow
My goodness. Oh. Did you need it? It's your turn.
That's right. Not getting out of here yet. Each week, we share our offering plate with nonprofit organizations here in Boulder County doing a tangible job making the world, the community, a better place. This month of October, our offering goes to Planned Parenthood of the Rocky Mountains. One thing that they've been doing in these recent years is expanding telehealth services to make their care more accessible to patients. And when patients are able to access care from the comfort of homes, cars, workplaces from rural areas across the region, you see a correlating increase in patient reproductive health outcomes. In 2021, they had over 9,000 telehealth visits. One patient shares this story. They say, "I had been trying to get birth control for about 2 to 3 months from my doctor. I went to an OBGYN who told me to go to my primary care doctor, who gave me a hard time scheduling an appointment, and when it finally came time for my appointment, unbeknownst to me, my insurance was pulled. It was a very long and tiring few months trying to get the bare minimum from 2 different doctors. On my way home from the canceled appointment with the doctor, I downloaded the Planned Parenthood Direct app, and within 15 minutes, I had a prescription for birth control. I was in disbelief. 3 months later, I decided to change what I was using because the first one was bad for my mental health, reached out via the app, and within minutes, a new prescription for a different pill was prescribed." The work that Planned Parenthood does is incredible and vital and is not happening elsewhere in the healthcare system, not universally. And so I invite you to give as generously as you're able. For those online, you can use the QR code in the video or a link in the description. And for those of us in person, you can scan the QR code or make a donation as the ushers pass the baskets. May our gifts be used to enact justice and bring peace and love to this larger community.
Y'all are so lucky to have Ben. You know, if you decide you don't like working here, my friends, may you always be guided by your heart, for true wisdom is always in harmony with your heart. May you courageously risk living life to its fullest, and may you allow guidance to arise from within. May you remember to listen to your soul, and may you continue to be part of this community where love is the life-changing, life-giving spirit. Always. May the road rise with you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rain fall softly on your fields. And until we meet again, may love hold